Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the channel. This is RB Smooth coming to you from the Believe That There YouTube channel. And I want to talk to you guys today about some more diddly information. The diddly, I'm calling him diddly. The Diddy information is all over social media. And I'm gonna say in parts of the media, but mainstream media not gonna really talk that much about it, not until it actually starts going to trial or gets more, whatever. But socially, it's all over TikTok, it's all over YouTube, it's all over Instagram, Facebook, you name it. There's somebody talking about what's going on with Diddy in this weird case that he got going on. that he got going on. Uh, I had to laugh, man. I was having a thought, but yeah, man. It's dominating everything, and I guess you could look at it from the standpoint of we got something else to focus on other than the back and forth between Kamala, Kamala, and Donald Trump. We got something else to focus on. We actually can focus on Diddy, but even more on top of that, we got some other things that's happened, this week that I hadn't even touched on. The fact that, we got people that are being hung in trees. They finding young black men hanging from trees. But that's gonna be another video at another date. But that's crazy too. But back to Diddy, like I said, Diddy is covering, dominating the headlines. I know he has at least this week, everything with the indictment all the way up until, today. But right now, I got a video that I want to share with you guys from an attorney that's from New York. She's a New York attorney, and she's going to give her perspective on things. And this is brought to us courtesy of the Viral Hip Hop News podcast. Make sure you actually check them out. I'm gonna actually put links to their page in the description. But we're gonna get off into this, and I want y'all to tell me what y'all think. Please don't hesitate to leave a comment and or like and subscribe if you're enjoying the content that I'm bringing you, or you enjoy what I'm talking about, or you just like looking at my lovely face. Whatever the case may be, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. It's only going to help me grow, and we're going to bring some more content. So without further ado, let's get off into it.
Attorney Al-Shabazz is back in the building for round number 4. How you doing today?
I'm good. I'm happy to be here. Yes. What's good? It's a lot happening.
Oh,
a lot
my
happening.
goodness. Oh my goodness, it's a lot.
I know.
And we talked about this maybe 4 or 5 months ago, and you were one of the people that predicted. You said that he would be indicted. So talk about that. It finally happened. He's been indicted, but it's in New York, out of all places.
Yes.
Break that down if you can.
So he's been indicted here in New York in the Southern District, which is the same agency that was behind the warrant execution that happened in March. And so I believe since that time, they have been building this case, investigating the sentencing memorandum, or not sentencing, the detention letter indicates that they sent upward of 300 subpoenas. They interviewed 50 witnesses and or victims. And so that is how we got to have this indictment.
300 subpoenas, 50 witnesses. They sent all that up for this this indictment. That's a lot of information. And that's a lot of people that's got to come out and talk about this thing. Boy, did he get in some deep doo-doo. No Diddy.
So we're at a 3-count indictment where he is facing mandatory minimums in these counts, mandatory minimums of 15 years on each count. So in effect, he's facing life.
So why not, if they're saying a lot of this stuff happened in like Florida and California, why not in those states?
They could prosecute him in those states as well, right?
Okay.
But oh yeah, well, every state has its own jurisdiction, has its own sovereign jurisdiction. And they could choose, just like you saw Harvey Weinstein prosecuted both in New York state and also in California state. So there's nothing precluding their prosecution, but why would they go through the expenditure of bringing forth a prosecution while this is happening, right? So if any other state is interested in prosecuting, right, then they will wait to see how this plays out.
Got you.
Yeah.
Got you. Now some of the details are pretty disturbing.
They are. So you got a little censorship here? Not censor, but trigger warning.
No, you get into it, but
okay.
They're pretty much accusing this dude of being a monster.
Yeah.
Nothing short of a monster, forcing men and women to do sexual acts. Again, how do you gather evidence besides somebody just saying something? What type of evidence could you have besides just words of somebody, eyewitness account?
Yeah, well, this person, because he's a narcissist and it was his desire to have evidence to use against the people who participated in these acts, he stored a lot of video evidence. And in March 2024, when they hit the door and they executed those warrants, they got a lot of video evidence. So not only do they have the video evidence that he kept, they have video evidence from other witnesses who were there so they got people who were there who witnesses. They're going to come testify, and they also have what those people will come say. They will have that stuff the testimony corroborated by video evidence, right? Because what did he say when Cassie filed the lawsuit? All of these allegations are untrue. And then when the video dropped, he's like, oh, I was in a dark place.
Right.
So he's always going to deny until he's forced to admit.
Right.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. One minute he was saying one thing, but then when that video coverage came out, he was out there, I was in a dark place. I hit rock bottom. And you notice his words when he said that. He said, I take full responsibility for my actions in that video. And the only reason why he did that, it was because the statute of limitations had ran out on that offense being criminal, I think, wherever that was. But it still didn't stop the fact of that footage got leaked to give perspective on to what this guy was capable of, or what it has been reported that he has been doing. And if all those people if they got video coverage or any kind of footage to what is when the witnesses come and they have video footage too, man, that dude, he is gonna be up the creek without a paddle. I mean, it's kind of hard to dispute that. You got video proof. You saying one thing, but we got video proof and a witness. They saying this, and then they got a video to back it up. Dude, come on, man. You ain't gonna be able to, ain't gonna be no shimmying out of that. Ain't no shimmying out of that. Ain't no Harlem shaking around that right there. Facts. That's exactly what you're gonna be looking at. Facts. Man, that's sad. That is gonna be a hard pill to swallow. I am hoping that it will be televised or publicly covered where we can actually get some more information or some more integral details about, the indictment and the court process.
So that's where we are. So now they have video.
Right. Wow. So they I thought it was kind of strange that he offered $50 million a bail package to, give everybody's. Why would you? Is that typical? Or do you wait for the feds to give you an offer? Or do you say, I'll give you $50 million? Let me get out.
I don't know the experience levels. I don't want to cast aspersions on any other lawyers, but that was the most pathetic bail package I have ever seen.
Wow.
Ever seen. And I think the government didn't even take them seriously. Like you playing in my face, right? Because think about this. As part of this enterprise, everything, all the proceeds that you have made in the course of the past 15 years or so, since 2008, all of the proceeds are subject to forfeiture. which would include the house you're trying to put up. So the government is like, wait a minute, you want to put up the house that we about to get anyway?
Wow.
How is that any moral suasion for you to come back to court? How is that house that you're about to lose going to be the thing that gets you to come back to court? It's not.
Right.
You don't care about that house. And it didn't address any of the issues that he had. They didn't say, you know what? He's going to be in anger management. Which he should have already did. If you were so speculative that you knew this was coming, that your lawyers told you to move to New York and sell this property so you could put this house up, why didn't you go into a drug program? Why didn't you go into anger management? Why didn't you deal with those issues? Why didn't your bail package also include what we call having someone sign a personal recognizance bond? That means that your family members are on the hook. But no, instead, you did this performative bullshit with the passports. You said, oh, my family members surrendered the passports. They didn't surrender shit. They gave those passports to your lawyer.
Right.
That's not surrendering passports. That's like, you hold on to these so we can make it look like, we surrendered the passport, and just use the term surrender. Don't play.
Yeah, those are some good points she's making. Like you said, he got a whole plane. He got a plane. He can fly around, fly around the country wherever he want to. And I get it. You need to. It could have been. I guess what she was saying, make it look like you even serious about, what's going on, instead of you just holler, look, I'm Diddy, and look, I'll give you this, and this, and I'll be able to do this. They're like, no, bro, no, sir, not on this watch, not this time. Negative. You go sit your little butt down there and wait on us to deal with you.
Semantics. The government is not stupid. They're not impressed by that. So no, your $50 million house, that was a joke, because you have cash. Why didn't you offer to put up cash?
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't you do that? The government said you had $1 million on deck. Wow. That's your walk around pocket money.
Wow.
Right? So who gives a fuck that you surrendered your passport? You got a private plane, bro.
Yeah.
You're like, really? You surrendered your passport.
Right.
Nobody's stupid.
Right.
Nobody's stupid, which is why his bail package failed. It should have been tight. It should have been, we ain't gonna have he won't have access to the internet, right? He will have limited communication with third parties. There will only be a handful of people that he will be able to access. He won't be able to leave his house for any reason except to see the doctor and his attorney. Like, this is a bail package. Make people feel secure that if you release this person, he will be controlled. But y'all didn't do that. Y'all didn't do that.
Right.
Y'all didn't do that. And you know what? Everyone is presumed innocent. And as much as I can't stand this motherfucker, everyone is entitled to a zealous defense.
Right. Right.
And he was entitled to that, and I don't think he got it. Unfortunately or unfortunately. You know what I mean?
Right. Now the bail, are they going to try to go to a higher court to try to,
Yeah, no, they're going to stay in the same court, but they're going to go to a higher judge. So the judge that decided his detention hearing yesterday was a magistrate judge. So this now will go to what's called a district court judge. So there won't be any change in the bail circumstances because your package isn't any different, one. And the judge who decided the detention motion did so based on the evidence that was before her. There was no abuse of discretion. This wasn't an arbitrary and capricious decision. She didn't just out of nowhere say, you know what, granted. She gave it due consideration. And there is no change in circumstances from yesterday to today.
Wow.
Right? So why would the judge disturb that opinion?
So you pretty much saying that they should have already been proactive and getting them into rehab, getting them into anger management.
Exactly, because those are the issues that he has. You have a violence issue. You have an impulse control issue. You need to be in therapy. You need to be addressing these issues. You simply saying, I'm going to put up my house and then be on. And matter of fact, what they said was he would be on house arrest and he'd be traveling between his two houses in Miami and in LA or Miami in New York or what. No. No, that's not going to make the government feel comfortable. This dude flying around about the country. I don't think so. You know what I mean? But
Right.
hey, you know, he
Right.
hired those guys.
Yeah.
And that's what you got for your money. That's what you got for your money. That's what you got for your money. There are.
Well, how it sounds, I'm listening to her. She like, it seems like she's like not too keen about. Oh, I ain't gonna say she's not too keen, but she's got her how she feels. She's actually letting you know how she feel about the attorneys or that the guys that he hired. Like, dude, you could have done a lot better. You know what I'm saying? You know, you paid for that, and then I don't think you getting the proper amount of service from the money that you spending out on those guys. But it's funny. Her antics are funny, so I kind of like watching. And then how she's delivering it, you could tell that she from the hood. So she's definitely, she can relate to what's happening. And she's like, look, government ain't playing that bull crap, dude. And you ain't finna sit up here and try to pull the wool over nobody's eyes, man. If you want to come correct, are you serious about trying to get yourself out of trouble? Come to us, or let's sit down and let's talk about and see if we can come up with something that works for both sides. Because you ain't finna just be flying all over the country. Because he does have a plane, and I guarantee you, if he was to get out, he gone. He out of there. That name Puff, he would be gone just like that. Puff, he would be gone.
Plenty of capable attorneys in New York who could have did a well better job than I know law students who could have did a better job on a bail package than what I saw.
Right. Now let's talk about the court of public opinion, because a lot of people, already they did a great job of kind of smearing his image.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. They leaked that video.
Yeah. That was like the final nail right there.
In my opinion, let me say, in my opinion, they leaked that video. I don't want no smoke.
Right. How much did that weigh? I know we asked you that before about other trials. How much does that kind of weigh? And even like witnesses that are going to, not witnesses, jurors that are going to be in that trial. You kind of already got this image of this dude being a straight demon, a monster.
Yeah.
That has to weigh. I don't, in my opinion, it doesn't matter what the judge says. You got to follow these rules. You're going to have that perception in your mind before you even go to the jury box. So how much does that weigh in your opinion?
You'd be surprised how many people have not seen that video.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
There are a lot of people who haven't seen it, that don't know what's going on with this Sean Combs guy. This is all breaking news to them. They're all like, what? Oh my God. I didn't know, right? A lot of the free Diddy people, they are not fully versed in what the allegations are, how many civil lawsuits there are, and so, it's cognitive dissonance at some point in some regards with some people. It's the same thing we see with the free R. Kelly people.
Right.
And to turn this into the whatabouts. What about Charlie Sheen and what about and yeah, okay, but what about all of the Black women, that are in the wake of this enterprise, as the government calls it, since 2008. 2008. That you were forced to participate in a sexual act for days. So much so that you need IV replenishment.
That is definitely unimaginable. That what they just described, to be having to perform to the point to where you got to get IVs. Man, that's sick, dude. That is sick. It had to be. I mean, of course, he ain't just do it by himself. You know what I'm saying? He ain't been, and like I said, for since 2008. Look how many how many people, women, got whatever. How many people have coming in and out of his life, man, that he's possibly had an effect on? That's a lot of people. a lot of extracurricular, a lot of IVs, a lot of whatever it is that's going on, man. That's crazy. That's sick. Sick.
That's fucking crazy. Peace, brother.
Hey, Attorney Shabazz, how you doing? Sorry for the tardiness. Was
That's
in there
okay.
finishing up another thing, and I was
Quite
trying
all
to
right.
listen as best as I can. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
Good.
King.
Good.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You go ahead. Let me just catch up with you.
Yeah, that's wild. That's wild. At the end of the day, the baby lotion thing, baby oil.
Yeah. The supplies. Well, I like to call them the supplies for the freak offs, right? The supply, because this is as the government paints it, right? If we accept their narrative, is that these were highly orchestrated performances, right? So things were staged. There was people who were charged with stocking the rooms to make sure all the requisite needs were there. There were people charged with coming to clean the rooms after the freak offs to minimize any damage that was done to the room. All of these people are accomplices, all of them. And people need to understand, it does not matter how much or how little you do in a conspiracy. You in for a penny, you are in for a pound.
So how much of this is just the government building a case embellishment as opposed to, it really being like, is he just throwing a party that people know about, or just some big enterprise? They're making it, because I know their job is to make it seem like it's a criminal enterprise.
Yeah.
And in your opinion, is this more of a criminal enterprise, or this a freak sex Hollywood party?
I think it's may have started out as some freaky, sexy Hollywood parties, and it turned into an enterprise. It turned into a production, right? Where we have people who are charged with getting the drugs, people that are charged with getting the girls, people that are charged with getting the commercial sex workers, people charged with transportation, people charged with booking hotel rooms, people charged with stocking hotel rooms, people charged with cleaning hotel rooms after, people charged with supplying with IV fluids. Come on. This takes extraordinary coordination, right? And the evidence that they have includes bank records, not just cell phone tower receipts and things of that nature, but also hotel receipts, car transportation receipts. So they're building this. They've been building this so that they can sell it this way, and they have the evidence. They have the receipts to support it.
If they got all that stuff on that dude, he ain't never getting out of there. Never. Ain't no way. If they got all that, and I know that there's going to be more indictments come down. But if they got all that evidence and then people start talking, Puffy ain't gonna never see the light of day. He ain't gonna never get out of this. The only way I can see him, I ain't gonna even say that then. I'm not going to even say that. I'm thinking the only reasonable way that he can, is to cut a deal. But what kind of deal he gonna cut? Who he gonna tell it on? I mean, and that's probably the only thing that may work for him is for him to give somebody else up. That's y'all know how them things work out. I mean, I ain't, but you know how it go. You're going to give up something. Either that or you're going to take the fall all by yourself, right? You're going to take the fall all by yourself, keep your mouth shut, and or you're going to give up the people that they really want. Because that sex trafficking thing is an organization. Like I said, he might be a small part of a global operation. And depending on the people that's involved, we'll never hear about it. You'll never hear about it. What I have heard is him complaining. And if you look at his case right now, where he is, and how it resembles the was it Epstein? The Epstein deal. Epstein went to jail, and he wasn't in there. I don't even know how long it was, and he decided to take his life. It was a whole bunch of shit surrounding that. We were looking, or a lot of people was expecting a whole lot of names to come out as it relates to him being caught, but it didn't come out. And I'm thinking the same thing might happen to put. If this is got a whole bunch of those higher people that's involved, it ain't gonna come out. It is not gonna come out. And they already talking about he's on watch for they having to keep close eye on him so he won't harm himself. That's happening right now. He complaining about the conditions. They not gonna move him. So it's like the only other choice is they really, 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 really trying to make him deal. They trying to turn him, and it's just a matter of time, man. And if you notice, there's a book that came out too. I think I talked about that in another one of my other videos. There's a book that came out. Kim Porter's supposedly book, some of her diary entries, some person has turned it into a book, and now it's out. And I hear that it's naming names. It's got some of the some names in there. You can just go out there and look at it. It's all over social media. You can't miss it. It's all everywhere. Just go and go to. They say the book is a bestseller. It's an Amazon bestseller. So I'm quite sure you can get it online. Actually, I went and ordered it, so I want it for myself. I ordered the book. I want to read it my doggone self because I don't want to take what somebody else is telling me, that they see. I want to read it and get my own perspective on it. But let's get back to the video because I didn't got off what I need to be on.
Right. Now, I'll be honest with you. You sound like a prosecutor there.
Yeah, well, listen. I can do both. I can do all things. I can do all things. But listen, the best defense attorneys are the ones that have an eye for the prosecution.
Right.
Right. Because I'm going to see you before you're coming. I know exactly how you're going to move. I know. You know what I mean? So I knew if I was representing this guy, the type of bail package that you would have to present to even have a shot at this, because this type of crime carries with it the presumption of detention, which means that if you don't overcome that presumption, then you must be detained. And that presumption of detention, there is two phases. One is there's a presumption that you are dangerous to the community. And then the second is that you're a flight risk. So you have to establish and prove to the court that, one, you're not going to be a threat or a danger to the community or witnesses that the government might be calling, because that was one of the allegations. He'd been using third parties to call witnesses that had been subpoenaed. They're under subpoena. So that's obstruction. You know what I mean? So those some of the things that I would have made sure were addressed. They weren't. This case is so troubling. It's so troubling because there has to be a lot of people in place that haven't been touched or spoken about who let this happen.
Now, Diddy
facilitated this. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I'm sorry. Please do. Now, Diddy, it's according to his lawyer, he went back to New York. He was obviously maybe expecting this situation. Is this an extreme case of arrogance on Diddy's part, or does he genuinely think that in him cooperating, he was going to be able to go ahead and place bail, get out, and kind of live his life normally as his trial proceeds? And do you think he's going to get out in your opinion? And I'm sorry if you already answered that question in your opinion.
No, we haven't. But let me just say, the whole his lawyer talking about he moved back to New York 2 weeks in advance because he knew this was coming. That is wholly performative. It's performative. You only did that so that you could make the argument to the court that he did that. You know what I mean? So it's performative. It doesn't have any teeth. It doesn't have any value. And it doesn't speak to whether or not you're a flight risk, whether or not you're going to return to court, or whether or not you're going to continue to obstruct justice. None of those things are addressed in your bail package. And that's part of the problem. The other thing is his lawyer uses words like surrender and cooperating very loosely. In the legal field, the term cooperating has a significant legal meaning. That means that the government is sitting down with you and using you as a part of their case in chief. He is not cooperating with them. Now, he may have been compliant, right? And the things that they may have requested or things of that nature, but you're not cooperating. If anything, your lawyer should have had a conversation with the government so that you all could have had some kind of meeting of the minds, or you could get an understanding of what the government might consider a decent bail package that they would not object to. But that didn't happen because you showed up with the $50 million house that they already was going to take. And they was like, oh, you are so unserious with this bullshit. Like, you know what I mean? That was the way the people that were in the courtroom, that is the way I heard the government's impression of their bail package was. Like, you can't be, you joking. This house, you can't be serious.
All right. So why now, if this has been going on for all these different years? Was it something that triggered this investigation?
Yeah.
In your opinion? And even the Cassie situation, they said she's going to be a witness as well. Would you say it's her?
I think her lawsuit triggered the attention that was required. Okay. And because it was an actual legal process. Now, we've always heard conjecture, rumors, speculation, right? We've never seen any specific details and allegations in the way in which they were laid out in that civil complaint. And it had to get the attention of the federal authorities. It had to, because within the complaint, whoever the lawyer is, and I don't remember, he's brilliant or she's brilliant, because in that complaint, they outlined that the activity that was being engaged in was in fact sex trafficking. They were waving that in front of the federal government. Like, I dare you not do something. I dare you not investigate this guy. You cannot turn a blind eye now. Everyone is looking. And so I think that was the precipitous. I think that gave a lot of other people courage to come forward and tell their story. And I think that sparked the investigation that the government, listen, they set it off. They didn't rush to the grand jury. We haven't got, they did the search warrant back in March of 2024. We didn't know that they got 3 AR-15s with defaced serial numbers back in March. We just learned that yesterday or day before yesterday, whenever the indictment was unsealed, right?
Right.
We just learned that. I think that this indictment is only the first. What we will see is a superseding indictment, which will have probably a great deal more counts. Because this one is only 13 counts. And I think this was just, let's just get this out there, get the process started, get the ball rolling, and then we'll come back and supersede this indictment at a later time.
They're going to bury the dude. They're going to bury his ass. They're going to railroad him into the ground, man. He's not going to get away from this. Like I said, the only way he's going to be able to get out from under this is he's going to have to give up something that's worth giving up. And if he don't do that, man, his whole organization and everybody that's around him is going to be affected. Everybody that probably has something to do with that, worked for him, did anything, attended the parties, all that, they are all up for it. So, man, I hope, I noticed, and if you notice, I read here recently too, this is in the news being reported, you have a lot of music execs getting out the way. Don't know if that's related to this or not, but hey, it's crazy.
Well, we see other names be brought up, because I know you were speaking about there were other parties involved. If you have this type of situation going on, there has to be other parties involved. But we haven't heard any other names yet. And we've talked to a number of other people, and they seem to believe that there's certain names being protected right now under fear that there could be some names very damaging in some of these situations that could further affect others, powerful, more influential things going on in the world.
Yeah,
the
which
election and things like that. What do you think about that?
I agree. I think that there's a real danger that this man doesn't make it to trial for that very reason.
What do you mean by that?
Jeffrey Epstein.
Mm.
Yeah.
So, man. So let me ask you this. Let me because Diddy is innocent until proven guilty.
Absolutely, he is presumed. He is presumed innocent. Absolutely.
Right. And due process has to take place. But in our opinion, is this done? Is this over? Because it seems like in the court of public opinion, this dude is already buried under the jail.
Yeah.
And like you just alluded to, it may be some things outside of all of our imaginations, some serious things going on that we aren't privy to even know about. So is this trial or is this situation with Diddy done before it even started, in your opinion?
Yeah, I think he's done. I think he's done. And I don't think that the evidence, I don't think anybody wants to have a public trial with the evidence that they recovered at that mansion.
Damn.
I do not. And I don't know if there's any correlation to all of the people that are stepping down all over the record world, the music industry today. Folks, it's like, I'm out. Because the federal government, they need to check how many people are Googling which states have a have reciprocity with New York or extradition treaties. With the United States, because folks are planning their escape.
Yeah, them parties were packed.
Yeah,
it was a lot of people in the parties. That's crazy.
Oh yeah. And they got 30 thumb drives.
Whew.
Right, 30 drives.
Oh, God.
That's how much video evidence they have. And it was this thing to record it all. And some of the descriptions sounds like it comes from having watched some of that, right? Because they talk about the freak offs and what his participation was in the freak offs.
Can you imagine having to watch that shit and to see all the wickedness that was going on? And like you said, one of the guys, the parties were big. You hear people talking about the Diddy party all the time. Ain't no party like a Diddy party. Cat Williams, before he did the Club Shay Shay, was in his stand-up. He would mention about being at these parties and being happy to be at the party. Shit, he said, man, I was happy. I thought I arrived. I went to the party and was in the party. He said it all fine and good until you go by or walk by a room or open up a door that you ain't supposed to open up. And you open up and you look in there and you be like, is that what I think I saw? But that's crazy. But yeah, the parties are talked about. All the celebrities are talk about the Hollywood parties and the parties that he used to throw, how lavish they were. And I'm quite sure that they were probably, great parties, at least the pre-party. But that after, I don't think too many people wanted to be around that one right there. But apparently there were some people there because here we are.
Yeah, and it's disturbing, as a former prosecutor, they got to watch those videos.
Yeah.
They got to watch them. That's horrible.
Right.
That's horrible. That part.
Yeah, I got to ask you this. If you knew that he was done, I'm sure his attorneys had to know that he was done. Why didn't he just run? Why didn't he do the Russell Simmons thing and get on the jet, take his bags of money, just be out? Why not?
Yeah.
I would have been out.
Great
I'm
question.
sorry.
Honestly.
If I had the money like that, I'm gone. I'm not going to sit and let,
innocent or guilty. I think I'm out.
Pride and ego before the fall. Pride and ego before the fall. You know what I mean? And there is always a danger when there is a defendant who has beat trial before.
Okay.
Right? Because they have this false sense of security because they've won before that they can win again.
Right.
So that could be some of it. I really don't know. You know what I mean? Aside from maybe he was taking the advice of his attorneys to come to New York and surrender yourself to these people and it was going to work out. Like, I don't know. I because, one of the things that I've said, and I say again, I really hope that they prepared him for the reality that he would not be getting bail. And I don't think that they did.
It don't look like it. Don't seem like it.
It doesn't seem like it. And from people that were in the courtroom, when the judge said that, bail denied, his eyes got wide. Well, at least that's what was reported to me.
Whoa.
Yeah. So, yeah, yeah. So maybe he didn't understand the reality. He thought that maybe he would be able to stay out while the trial, was pending. And they may have sold him that dream, that fantasy, and I bet you he is pissed right now that they were wrong.
Money can't save him.
No, not this time.
Now, correct us, or correct me if I'm wrong. The last time we spoke, I think you were very critical of his legal team.
I'm always critical of legal teams. This is what I do.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what would you say? I mean, from listening to you, it doesn't sound like you're too impressed on what they got going on now. It doesn't seem like they got their ducks in order at all. And when you are the defense in a federal case, if your ducks aren't in order, your defendant is good as done.
Done. It's over. It's over.
I don't even know what question I'm asking. I'm just kind of.
We talked. I think we talked about it a little bit before you came. We talked a little bit about the bail package that they presented and how woefully insufficient it was. And so, that is the second instance of, I don't want to say ineffective assistance, but, deficiencies, I should say, in his defense. The first was the statement that was made by the lawyer, like, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. We tell our clients to shut the fuck up. And then you want to talk? You want to shut the fuck up. Why are you making statements? It's not helpful. It's not helpful. All you need to, and then you're making the wrong statement. My client is innocent. That's not the statement you make. You don't need to prove that he's innocent. He doesn't need to prove that he's innocent. They need to prove he's guilty.
Right.
There you go.
Okay. And if he's not guilty, that doesn't mean he's innocent.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So stop with that. Just say, my client looks forward to his day in court. My client maintains his innocence, or my client maintains, that he's not guilty. That's it. And then try your case. Let it come to you, though. Don't get in front of it.
Is there any, you kind of spoke on it earlier that he might be cooperating. Is there any chance of Diddy cooperating, maybe giving him information on something that could lessen his time? Maybe he knows something about something. I don't know.
There's always a chance that you can cooperate. It depends on the value of your information.
Yeah.
Right. And so there's always an opportunity for you to earn you a 5K down with departure letter, which is what you get when you are a successful cooperator. Right. That's always an option. And it depends on what type of information he may have and what it may lead to.
Yeah, she just said it. There's always a possibility, but it depends on what you got. If you ain't got nothing of value, or they think it's gonna lead to something else, they can be like, "Nah, bro, okay, nah." Just like the house and the $5 million, and all that, 50 million, nah, we gonna get that anyway. What else you got? And that's just how it is. They finna really force him. Seem like it. They were trying to force him to flip and give up something of significance, or otherwise he just gonna rot. Right.
Because it's got to be actionable information, something they can use. Don't just tell me shit that I can't do nothing with. Right? It's got to be actionable information that they can actually use that will produce arrest and convictions.
On the flip side, if we go back to that and there are people in power, it goes back to what you said a few minutes ago. Are they going to let that get out?
Exactly.
Lord, man, this
exactly.
is crazy.
And the fact that he's in, the fact that he wasn't released on bail, that only puts more pressure on him to possibly consider cooperating.
Yeah.
Because whoever you are protecting, they have not come to save you.
Now, we've seen all these parties. We've seen some of the participants, not necessarily the free calls, but the Rock Nation brunches. And you would see them around like people like Jay-Z, Kevin Hart, all these different people. Yeah. Right now, everybody's dead silent.
Quiet.
In particular, Jay-Z. I mean, they was thick as thieves. They was right, like me and him, right hand man. Like
Jay running scared.
what's up with Jay-Z? I know you had to be at one or two of them things. Allegedly. Oh no.
Listen, the government doesn't paint with a broad brush, but well, all I can say is if this case goes to trial and these videos are made public, we might learn a whole lot more about a whole lot of people.
No
mistake. So I don't know. It remains to be seen.
Yeah,
everything right now is up for grabs. Everything is on the table.
Right.
I want to say everything and everyone is on the table. You know what I mean? There is no one who is beyond the pale. There's no one who was like, nah, not him. No, yes, you too, motherfucker. You might be on deck too. We'll see.
Now, when, because I know sometimes when information starts getting passed, it gets leaked. When will we get privy? Is it going to be before the trial? When will we get privy to some of the information that they found in those tapes and different things? Because something's going to leak at some point.
Right.
When do you think that's going to happen as far as like information being exchanged between the two sides?
Well, that's typically should be happening now. Right. Okay. The government should be providing his defense team with, I'm sure, troves of discovery. I'm sure that's going to be a process in which they are going to be delivering discovery in both physical form and in electronic format. And so it's going to take a process. Some of that in that process, is handled by a number of different people, aides, paralegals, and that's where the leaks happen. All right. Yeah. Typically, that's where the leaks happen. So we'll see. Give it a couple weeks. Give it a couple weeks or so. Hopefully that doesn't happen though, because these are sensitive videos. These are sensitive videos, and there are people whose livelihoods and reputation could be affected, by their release. So, and not to mention that the trial could be affected, and to the point where the defense might seek a change of venue, right? Because he can't get a fair trial in New York now because of all of these leaks and things of that nature. So there's a long way to go, So we're going to be here for a minute. This case will probably get to trial and be over before the YSL trial is over.
Right.
This RICO trial will be over before that RICO trial. And that's sad.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
It gives me chills listening to you talk, because we've had you on 3 or 4 times now.
Yeah.
Every time you come on here and say something, people, oh, this is crazy. In a couple months.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know they stay coming for me, right? They stay coming and they come for me, and I'm like, okay.
And then
I think it's more positive than negative, though.
It's on our end. It's definitely. I wouldn't know what you're going on your end, but people definitely they agreeing with you on our end. But this is to listening to it and then distributing it and then it coming to fruition. Like, you the first person I thought about 2 days ago when he got arrested. I'm like, I said that on our platform in March. It's crazy.
Right. Yeah, man. Crazy. I'm not happy that I'm right about these things.
Right.
But this is training and experience, and I'm divorced emotionally. I need people to understand that. I think that's what sometimes there's a disconnect. I don't have a feeling about this. This is my profession. Yeah. I'm objective when I'm talking about these things. This is based on my training as a prosecutor, my experience as a criminal defense attorney, my experience as a law school professor, right? So all of these things come to bear on how I view cases. My experience growing up in the hood, you know what I mean? That makes my perspective and my vision unique, I think. So all of those things come to bear when we talk about these cases. And I want to arm out people with information. That is always my goal, right? I'm an informationalist, and you can disagree, but it's factual. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So disagree with your mama.
Now, is New York one of those places where we'll be able to see this on TV, like the YSL trial, or is it
No cameras in federal court.
This is must-see TV right here.
Yeah, no. But I definitely will be up there. I will be up there. At least a couple times a week.
No
just
cameras in the
to
federal
see
courtroom.
the proceedings, see how they're going, because I don't trust the journalists.
Right.
I don't trust that they're going to report it accurately. I don't
Yeah.
trust that they are going to have the wherewithal to know the import of what the evidence means, of what objections mean, of what what objections were overruled and what objections was sustained. I don't know if they're going to be able to see what the prosecution was trying to establish with that line of questioning. I need to be there myself,
Yeah.
right? So I can make those assessments and bring it back to the people.
That's a lot of stuff. That was a great, 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 great podcast interview from that young lady. And like I said, I'm gonna put links to their channel in the description, as well as links to her information. So you guys, if you guys want to follow them, if you want to pick up on this content and other content, you can get that from the description below. But I wanted to pass that on, and I wanted you guys to hear that. And if you like what you're hearing, don't hesitate to subscribe to the channel. I'm going to try to bring you more and more good quality content. That's what I'm trying to do. Trying to grow the page, get a lot of subs, a lot of subscriptions, so we can, talk more and enjoy more. We can share more. So if you like, leave a comment below. Until then, peace.